The Outer Banks of North Carolina is widely known as a natural paradise. Beautiful sunrises over the Atlantic, warm, clear waters, and uncrowded beaches. It's a great vacation spot to enjoy fishing, boating, and other water sports. Wildlife is abundant. Wild horses roam the northern beaches. There are also scenic attractions, such as the Whalehead Club and the Currituck Lighthouse. But the Outer Banks is also the northernmost nesting area for three endangered species of Atlantic sea turtle. This is the story of Outer Banks sea turtles, where they come from, their nesting habits, the hatching of their eggs, the journey of the newborns to the sea, and the efforts of volunteer groups to protect their habitat and help save them from extinction. Three species of sea turtle are found off our beaches: the loggerhead, the green, and the leatherback. Populations of all three species are in decline, and all are classified as endangered. The Network for Endangered Sea Turtles, NEST, was established as a volunteer, non-profit organization dedicated to help sea turtles in their fight against extinction. NEST scientists coordinate efforts of volunteers along the Outer Banks to find and protect sea turtle nests from predators, increasing the chances that the eggs will hatch and that the baby sea turtles will find their way safely to the sea. Sea turtles spend most of their lives in the ocean, most of the time below the surface, resting or foraging for food. They come to the surface only every 5 minutes or so for a quick breath of air. Only mother sea turtles return to land for a few hours just a few times a year to lay their eggs in a nest in the warm sand near the beach where they themselves were born. Then the mother returns to the sea, like most reptiles, leaving her eggs to hatch on their own. A few months later, the eggs hatch. The babies emerge from the sand, and the newborns scramble down the beach to the sea. The baby turtles swim eastward toward the Gulf Stream. In their early years, they drift with the currents around the Atlantic, feeding off plankton, sargassum weed, and small crustaceans. When juveniles grow large enough to be safe from most sea predators, they move to shallower coastal areas where they feed on clams, whelk, horseshoe crabs, and other shellfish. When sea turtles reach sexual maturity, they migrate in the spring to the coastal waters off the beach where they were born. It is a mystery of nature how the turtles can navigate back to a place they may have left 20 or 30 years before. Scientists believe that the babies are imprinted with the unique magnetic signature of their birthplace during their journey from their nest to the sea. When their time is right, mother sea turtles come ashore after dark and drag their heavy bodies up the beach to a suitable nesting spot. There they use their back flippers to dig a deep hole where they lay their eggs. Sea turtles may lay from 50 to 200 eggs in a single nest. The entire process can take hours. When the mother is done, she covers her eggs with sand, then drags her tired body back to the ocean. A mother may repeat this process several times during a summer, at about 2-week intervals. You may be lucky on a late-night beach walk to see a mother sea turtle laying her eggs. If you do, please call the Nest hotline and observe quietly from a respectful distance. All of Nest's activities to protect the sea turtle habitat and the nesting process is done by volunteers. Volunteers receive annual training from wildlife biologists on the proper and most recent methods to search for turtle tracks and to take measurements of the tracks and the nest site. They are also trained on the proper ways to observe the hatching events without disturbing nature's processes. These scientists are on call throughout the summer to assist volunteers as needed. The volunteers of the Nest organization patrol the beaches of the Outer Banks every morning at dawn, looking along the water's edge for the telltale tracks of mother turtles. When tracks are found, they are followed to the nest site. The nest site is marked, and the wildlife biologists are notified. This nest was discovered the morning of July 17th. When the scientists arrive at the nest site, they and the volunteers make careful measurements. These provide a good indicator of both the size and the species of the mother. This nest appears to be that of a loggerhead turtle, judging by the alternating pattern of flipper marks. From the width of the track, this mother is estimated to be 2.5 feet long and weigh well over 100 pounds. The scientist then coordinates the volunteers as they carefully search the sand to discover the exact spot of the nest and confirm that eggs were laid. The scientist then places a sensor package next to the eggs to record nest temperature for the next 2 months while the eggs will be developing. The temperature during the incubation period is an important factor determining the ratio of male and female turtles hatching from the nest. If all is well, the eggs are covered back with sand and the area is marked so that people and vehicles will not disturb the development process. On rare occasions, a nest is found too close to the ocean. If there is a danger before the eggs hatch that the nest might be flooded by early fall storms, the scientist will supervise a careful excavation and relocation of the nest to a higher spot on the beach. As the eggs are removed, trained volunteers place them in an insulated container to protect them from the heat of the day. Then they are moved to a new hole in a safe location farther from the water's edge. Once the nest has been found and marked, the long wait begins. It usually takes from 2 to 2.5 months for the baby turtles to develop and then hatch from their shells. And then perhaps another day or two for them to find their way to the surface. Throughout the summer, volunteers check the nest site daily to confirm that it has not been disturbed. 2 months after the nest is found, volunteers begin evening vigils, hoping to observe the emergence of the baby turtles and then ensure that the babies remain safe as they find their way down the beach to the ocean. Volunteers work with the community to ensure that the newly hatched turtles have an unobstructed path to the sea. Each night they create a clear path free of beach furniture, sand castles, or deep holes in the sand that may have been left during the day. For 2 months, the sand over the nest has been undisturbed. When they are fully developed, the baby turtles hatch from their shells under the sand. Then they begin their slow climb to the surface. Although it is dark in the nest, the baby turtles can sense night and day by changes in sand temperature. Cooling of the sand indicates that night has fallen and that it is safe to emerge. As the babies struggle from their shells, their movements can cause the sand over the nest to slump, a telltale sign that emergence is imminent. A newly hatched baby turtle is small, perhaps only an inch or two long. They are also weak and defenseless. Perhaps for this reason, the turtles wait just under the protective surface of the sand until most of them have emerged from their shells. When their time is right, they begin their mad dash to the surface, climbing on the backs of their brothers and sisters in a process known as the boil. Climbing from the hole, they see the moonlight reflecting from the ocean, and then head together down the beach to the sea. Moonlight helps guide the babies in the right direction. Nest volunteers work with the community to minimize light pollution during an emergence event. No flashlights or flash cameras, please. Photography should only be done using infrared or natural light. As the babies march to the ocean, note the alternating pattern of their flipper movement. This pattern is characteristic of the loggerhead turtle. The march to the sea is non-stop. The tiny babies are only an inch or two long. They race about 150 feet to the sea in a little over 7 minutes. That's the equivalent, though, of a person running a mile in the same time. Pretty impressive for a newborn. As the babies approach the surf, their flippers move more rapidly, beginning to swim as the waves wash them from the beach. For this nest, the emergence occurred just after high tide. The outgoing tide helps carry them on the first leg of their journey east to the Gulf Stream. Of the 85 eggs found in this nest, 65 emerged this evening over a 10-minute period. This last straggler gives us a close-up of the obstacles he faces moving down the beach. Without the presence of volunteers, these small turtles would be easy prey for foxes, cats, ghost crabs, and other predators. Scientists believe that the babies march to the sea, and their swim to the Gulf Stream gives them the memory of their birthplace, so that in 20 or 30 years they may return to this beach to start the next generation. Every year, nest volunteers discover over 100 sea turtle nests on the Outer Banks. Each year, nest protection helps more than 6,000 baby turtles hatch and make it safely to the sea. But sea turtle life is hard. Of the 6,000 babies hatched each year, less than 10 will live to return to our beaches to nest. Both natural predation and the unintended consequences of commercial fishing play a part. If you have the luck to be present for this event, keep the moon to your back so you can see, but keep far enough back so that your shadow does not fall on the turtle's path to the sea. Remember, the babies use the moonlight to keep them heading toward the ocean. Once the last newborn has made it safely to the sea, the volunteers return home to relate this once-in-a-lifetime experience to their families. We had to wait 60 days for 15 minutes of excitement, but it was an experience we will never forget. The nest is watched the next few nights until all the eggs have hatched. For this nest, 16 more boiled out the following evening. After 2 more nights of no activity, the scientists excavate the nest. They recover their sensor package and send it to a laboratory for analysis. Scientists carefully count the eggshell fragments to confirm the size of the nest and the number that hatched successfully. Some of the eggs never hatch, but usually after excavation, a few more babies are found alive. It is always a thrill to see them waddle down the beach and disappear into the sea. The Nest organization would like your support to continue to protect this exciting natural resource that helps make our Outer Banks experience so special. All sea turtles are protected by the Federal Endangered Species Act. Avoid touching or interfering with turtle activity. Do not remove any dead turtle, turtle egg, or turtle part. Please report all nesting turtles, turtle crawls, stranded or dead turtles, or hatching events on the Nest Hotline, 252-441-8622. Thank you.
Oh my God! Look at the guys! Here they go! Look at
Okay. 9:37.
Oh man, look at them all coming out of there.
No, I don't have one.
See them Alexander.
Put some numbers on. Hopefully the
Oh my gosh, look at them. They're just coming out.
You said it was like a boil.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
The baby.
I've never seen one.
Look.
Okay,
That one of the big corn over there.
Look, they're still coming
Folks,
out.
I need to see them, so we can't have any shadows on this side.
Yeah. Back off.
Just on this side. Everybody wants the other side.
Yeah, get to the other side.
Oh, I got
Are you get?
This
Tell
is
me if you lose.
amazing.
Yeah, I've got them going. There's one coming to you, Will.
Yeah, this little guy's coming over.
White shoe. Will White Shoes Taylor.
Explain to them, these are sea turtles. Yeah, and they're like,
I can't even imagine. They're all walking towards the water.
Yeah.
We got one that's going to get out of the trough here. They're heading because of the.
Yeah, they are heading to the moon.
All right, who's got the gloves?
I have gloves. And here's a board.
yeah, this little guy is wonderful, Megan. You're still coming, Megan. You're still coming.
All right, there were two people with gloves. What happened to them?
How many eggs were there at?
Oh, I know.
85. But the last guy's coming to you, Will.
What's the percentage of the half?
Over 90.
80 to 90 is the number.
The percentage is about over 90%. Okay, I'm walking down, girls. Look out.
Watch out, girl. He'll step on you.
These are the best girls in the world.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah, this guy's definitely right-handed.
Oh yeah,
He's got a strong right flipper. Just keep me from stepping on him.
Is this one that came out after?
Yeah.
By himself.
Yeah, get your shadow out of his path. Okay. 722. All right, thank you.
Wouldn't you walk up there, sir, and take this anymore?
I'm following the last straggler all the way to the ocean.